Hello and welcome to the Kenneth Vercammen Law Office Legal Podcast. This edition we're looking at some criminal cases, and in particular a criminal case where the appellate court held that a substitute toxicologist was permitted to testify based upon another toxicologist's work. The name of the case is State versus K.W., decided by the appellate division in the fall of 2025. So here, following a jury trial, the defendant, K.W., was convicted of second-degree sexual assault. The state alleged the victim was under the influence of ketamine and other substances at the time of the offenses based upon the toxicological testing of her blood and urine. The state's toxicologist who performed the testing and prepared the report was unavailable to testify at trial. In her stead, the state called the toxicologist supervisor, as permitted by the Supreme Court's decision in State versus Michaels. In Michaels, the court held a substitute expert can testify at trial without violating a defendant's rights to confrontation if the expert reaches an independent opinion based on machine-generated testing data from testing performed by a non-testifying technician. In this case, the supervisor had peer-reviewed the original toxicologist's report, independently reviewed the toxicologist's report, notes, and data prior to trial, and formed an independent opinion that the results of the report were correct. The supervisor was qualified as an expert without objection and testified based upon the forensic testing performed by the original toxicologist. So after the person is found guilty, the defendant appealed, arguing that his rights were violated. Let's see what a surprise there. The defendant said that the supervisor's testimony violated his right to confrontation under the United States and New Jersey Constitution. The defendant contended the decision in Michaels was effectively overruled by Smith versus Arizona, decided by the United States Supreme Court. Defendant claimed and argued that the U.S. Supreme Court decision of Smith held the defendant's confrontational right is violated unless an individual who performed the forensic testing testifies at trial. However, the appellate court affirmed. It determined that the supervisor's trial now, first, it said the supervisor's trial testimony violated the rule established in Michaels because she read directly from the original report rather than testifying as her own independent opinion. However, because defendant did not object to trial and affirmatively used the expert's testimony defensively, the appellate court concluded his confrontational clause arguments were waived. The court also said that the Michaels' decision remained sound law after Smith, that the machine data is not the equivalent of testimonial statements for confrontational purposes. Therefore, if a substitute expert testifies at trial after reaching an independent opinion, as permitted by Michaels, there is no confrontation violation. And that's State versus KW. For more information on criminal cases, visit website N.J.S.A.laws.com or website benotguilty.com. And for representation in criminal cases, contact Ken Vercammen's office in Edison at 732-572-0500. Thank you.